Hello, everyone. Welcome to our coffee and astrology date. This is being live streamed Monday, August 9th in sometime in the AM. I will be discussing the astrology for the week ahead. And this is for August 9th to August 16th. So this is going to be Monday to Monday. If you wanted to be in the live chat, make sure, if you're watching this in the replay, make sure you are subscribed and that you hit the little bell icon that tells you when I upload. It tells you when I go live. Oh, hey, Laura, welcome. Good morning. Guten Morgen. Yeah, if you guys want to just also share how you're feeling, we are in a new moon in Leo, Cazimi with Mercury. So, hey, Poise Girl. Hello, Troy. Welcome. Thank you for the alien emoji. I love it. I love it. Good morning, Aria. Good morning, everyone. How is everybody feeling? Because I did say that this new moon is going to be a little bit, to pay a little bit more attention to the mental health part of all of this, which is really, really funny because this morning I woke up and because I came live yesterday and then I did the 12 sign by sign breakdown, and that's like 2 hours, and that's really like a blast. It's a ball, and I get to hang out over on Patreon for like an extended amount of time. And this morning I tapped into the collective unconscious that's really dealing with some psychological stuff. Like what I'm getting is like an immense amount of collective anxiety. And I don't know if this is about like current events or if this is your guys's like the personal lives, but I haven't felt this since I did this play in high school, Gone with the Wind, and I wanted to be one of the lawyers, and I got cast as the judge, and so I had to be there on stage like the whole time. And I just remember like feeling so sick, like I can't do live, I can't be on stage like that. Like that's not like what I incarnated into a physical body to do. It's not what I'm here to do. So to feel this morning was really clearly strange and clearly out of my norm. So I feel like the collective this week is going to be really, the adrenal glands are going to be really sensitive for people this week. So we're probably going to see a lot of wild behavior and just people acting from that place of anxiety. I feel great. Did a lot of planning and cleaning yesterday. Good job, Laura. That's good. Planning actually is really great. Any planning that you actually, did I write that? I think I did write some of that down. Okay, planning and cleaning, those are great ways to channel this energy. Hello, Capricorn, feeling woken. Anxiety, yes. Don't know why. Okay, Poise Girl, okay, yeah, you might be actually tapping into some of the collective energy too, especially if you don't have a reason. Like, for me, clearly, like that's not part of I've never suffered from like anxiety or anything, but I just remember, hey, John Goodman, welcome. It just feels like you're dying. Like it's like some performance anxiety. Like you just feel like, I just felt like having a heart attack. So I don't know what that was, but if anyone's dealing with that, oh my gosh, so it's, and this is part of the distinction, like when you're psychic or empathetic or sensitive, is to distinguish what is your energy, that you are owning this energy, and what is like somebody else's energy, someone you're living with or someone you're just connected to. So stomach butterflies, there we go. Okay, that's a quick check-in. Let's go ahead and get started for Monday, today, the 9th. So today we have the moon in Virgo, and that moon in Virgo is going to conjunct Mars in Virgo. And then we also have Venus, of course, in Virgo, opposing Neptune in Pisces. This is when it goes exact today. So whenever you have an opposition, there's always a need to balance both of those energies so that you don't go too far in any one side. And so with Venus in Virgo, with the Virgo Neptune, or excuse me, the Virgo Pisces axis, you need to balance your need to be in your present physical 3D reality and your need to totally disconnect and dissociate from 3D reality and go be in creativity land, fantasy land, idealistic land, spiritual realms, spiritual exploration, sleeping, unconsciousness, remote viewing, psychic ability, like all of that non-physical stuff. You need to balance it with having to be present at your job, at your workplace, feeding yourself. That's another thing I haven't been able to like eat this morning. I forced myself to have some peaches before I got on, but that was hard. It's like some kind of like really jittery, nervous energy. So, man, I don't know what people are tweaking out about. I'm not real. But it's like for real. I'm like, oh my God, that's like, it's really intense. So this Venus opposing Neptune energy, you want to look to balance. Okay, so that's some of the expression. But with Venus and Neptune, there's love, there's compassion, there's empathy. And so Neptune can take your energy and it can manifest in a few different ways. So you could be dreaming about the future and creating beautiful visions for your life and beautiful, positive visualization. Or Neptune can be fears, really horrible fears. So with Venus, there could be fears of relationships, fears of love, fears of giving affection or receiving affection, fears of abandonment. It can go that way. It could also go into idealization of people and idealization and just things feeling better than they are or things feeling worse than they are. So that's when I looked at the astrology, when I started to feel this, I'm like, what's going on specifically today with the astrology? Venus opposing Neptune. So people are really feeling, okay, if you're feeling anxiety today, like today, Monday, know that it's not real. Know that it's like a mirage. It's like you think you see some reflection in the road ahead, but when you drive and get there, it's totally dry and there's nothing there. It's just the same thing. So if you're tweaking out about anything today, or if you're feeling that anxiety and you don't know why, like you're not specifically nervous, like with me this morning, I'm like, there's nothing that I'm specifically stressed out about. So what is this? Then you know that you are sensitive. You're tapping into some either collective energy or maybe someone that you are like living with or someone that you're connecting to telepathically, family bonds, links and connections, anything like that. So do something that really clears and cleans out your energy. Do some energy work with that, clean your space, something. So what Laura said about planning and cleaning is really good. It's moving the energy around. When things don't get moved for like a very long time, like if that has been there kind of a long time, what you call back there, the copper thing, energy accumulates in these things and they accumulate in corners, they accumulate and it's stagnant energy. And so there's like feelings and thoughts and words and memories and like all that stuff. Little cluster spot. Okay, anyway, sorry. So so that's today. So this is this Venus Neptune energy. You've got to find the balance between if you're feeling like, or it could be the opposite, where you are just on cloud 9 for like no reason, that you are just feeling fantastic, on top of the world, something's going really great, and it just like feels even more vibrant. Life feels more vibrant. And that's the Venus Neptune as well. Just know that you're going to enjoy it while it's going to last, because you're going to come down from that. Actually, this is with the new moon energy. So it's going to be 6 months of this, but it's going to be these first 2 weeks, you're going to be feeling it super jacked, like super, like a really cool movie or something. So, so there's that. And then the moon with Mars, like moon, Mars and synastry is just when you have these two sources of energy interacting with each other and how that works. So if you have moon Mars in your synastry, any connection at all, that's a very primal attraction where you're attracted to someone on a level that you cannot consciously understand, or it is instinctual. It is your human physical body that has this attraction, that has this these feelings and these hormones and like all of that stuff. So Monday is a very visceral day because this combination can make you so like this moon Mars conjuncting in the sign of Virgo, no less, like in the same sign as Venus. Like you're just going to be feeling really intensely about this, about whatever it is. So look to balance, like if it's fears, look to balance fears in feeling, like wherever it's so much, you'll be able to see that and just tell yourself, okay, let's try to like balance this out. And then the moon Mars as well, there's that instinctual energy, but this can also help you tap into your intuition. So if you go human with these energies, that's how it expresses. If you go divine with these energies and you make that conscious decision, then you can choose how you're channeling this energy with more free will. And that's why I do this, is because I believe in free will. And like, it's always free will with me, like always free conscious decisions. So this moon conjunct Mars, it can also be intuitive action. So if you feel like you need to do something, or that there's something that if you're getting ideas or intuitive hits about taking action about something, just know that you are tapping into something bigger. So you are accessing your intuition. So it could be, take your pick. So Monday is kind of like I wasn't expecting that. I saw that Venus Neptune yesterday, but I wasn't expecting to be like tapping into that collective energy. Troy, uber anxiety. Oh, big game. Vivid dreams last night. Yeah, dreams. Okay. Yeah. Always keep a dream journal, but especially around the new moon and the full moon, or specific lunations, definitely pay special attention to your dreams. It's astral travel, or it is a subconscious message coming through so that you understand what's going on. Or sometimes it's something you ate and it's like a biology thing, and you have like a weird dream because of something you ate. So it's one of those. So it's like, that's what it is. Okay. Sorry. Tuesday the 10th, we have Mercury in Leo opposing Jupiter retrograding in the sign of Aquarius. So this is like Mercury comes along and makes this connection with Jupiter and picks up something from the past, because Mercury is trying to organize and trying to get everything well understood, and trying to like, there's something that does feel very performative and theatrical. For some people, like if they're tweaking out and they're spinning out because of their own anxiety, or they're projecting their own fears and insecurities onto other people, or their anger issues onto other people, then this is all going to be drama. Drama is the word I'm using for the negative connotation, and theatrical is the word I'm using for the positive connotation. So this can be theatrical, where you are being really creative and inventive and authentic to who you are, and staying very true to yourself in regards to what you're doing and how you're living your life and how you're moving through the world. And it can be beautiful and theatrical and themed and have its own color palette and everything. Or you can devolve into your fears and anxieties and give your power away and project everything, all of this, onto other people, because you can't deal with it and you don't want to be self-aware. You don't want to look at yourself, or you don't want to think that there's anything more to your own self. And this is going to result in drama, and you're going to find yourself in conflict with other people. You're going to find yourself in things like you have nothing to do with, but it's like this whirlpool of energy that it's like you're all in that vibration. So that's like ping-ponging back and forth. Oh, this is weird. I do have the coffee, by the way, but look at this. Look at this, you guys. What happened? Look what happened to me. I should have cleaned that before I got on live. I'm sorry. But yeah, it's like I've been like super. Okay, so this Mercury opposite Jupiter, picking up something from the past and being able to organize your mind, organize your intellect, but learning from either, not like necessarily a past mistake or anything, but you're philosophizing. That's what Jupiter in Aquarius is doing, and you're reformatting everything. We also have tomorrow, Tuesday the 10th, the moon in Virgo trining Uranus and Taurus. So this is a sudden insight, or it can be an unexpected emotional upliftment. So remember, this is all how we're using it. So this can be you going on your own energy, like your own ideas, your own wants, your own passions, your own creativity, not thinking about what other people want. Like this Mercury, Jupiter, this is, again, the Leo Aquarius axis is my own personal self-expression, and then how I'm going to bend my will and how I'm going to bend my self-expression in order to contribute to the collective, in order to be part of a whole, in order to be part of a group. Because with any group of people, it usually requires everyone to just sort of not like kill a little bit of yourself, but you do have to sort of shrink your individuality in certain ways, times, and areas in order for the group to move forward on something and complete an objective. There's very rarely situations or groups that are really, really like individualist. I mean, the Arctic is, we're decentralized, there's all over the world. But I mean, in your life, you may come across this where maybe you have an obligation, or you have a promise that you made, a commitment you made to a collective or the group, Jupiter retrograding in Aquarius, something maybe altruistic even, or this could be religious if you guys are like part of religious congregations and you whatever. And this Mercury in Leo is coming along and like wanting to do something for the self. Like, I want this for myself. I want this to enjoy for myself. Like, I want my own. Or, this is like, I don't want to share. I want my own. And you have to reconcile this. You can't have it like, you have to balance this out. You have to please yourself and get what you want out of something. And you also have to, you do have to think about that, what's better for everyone, what's better for the group, but there's a balance that needs to happen. So you've either been doing one or the other. This Tuesday, it comes to a head. This has been forming all week, but you've been either too selfish and you need to sort of open up and be a little bit more giving and altruistic and humanitarian and think about the collective, or you've been giving too much of yourself away. You've been too idealistic and you've been too much pushing your own wants and needs and passions down just for the sake of the group. So you'll think about that, see where you are, see how life feels, because this is when you're going to be equalizing it. Like, if you're like, I need more this, or I need less of that, or I need to do more of this or do less of that, you're going to know what it is. Sorry, just like this energy is like freaking me out. This is like my second cup of coffee, and like all I want is coffee, and I know that that's like not the answer. I should eat like some solid food, but I just can't do it. It's this Leo energy is like intense, and this is the Lionsgate portal. It's just like a lot. So Lionsgate happened to fall on, or I should say the new moon in Leo happened to fall on Lionsgate, which is 8/8. So this is just like a lot of energy that people, every single one of us is getting a lot of information and download. So it's just like a lot for the collective right now. Okay. So Wednesday, the 11th, we have Venus in Virgo trining Pluto in Capricorn. That's why boundaries are so, so important. It's not as simple as like putting up a metal partition with energy. Okay, sorry. Wednesday, we have Venus in Virgo trining Pluto in Capricorn. We have the moon in Virgo. Yeah, moon in Virgo opposing Neptune in Pisces. We have Mercury making an ingress into the sign of Virgo. We also have the moon conjuncting Venus in Virgo. And again, the moon trining Pluto in Capricorn. So we have both Venus and the moon trining Pluto in Capricorn. This is a lot of positive transformation through very important conversations. With Mercury being at the very end of Leo, there's probably going to be some either theatrical conversations or theatrical communications. And when I say theatrical, remember, that's the positive connotation. That when I say theatrical, I mean creative, I mean honest, I mean expressive, I mean making something your own and then sharing that with people instead of creating, I always talk about the fountainhead, instead of creating something with everybody's input that is made for the masses. This is like you create something. This is the best, my favorite interpretation, or the way of talking about Leo and Aquarius is, instead of putting down parts of yourself in order to create something with other people, I like more that someone creates something totally individualistic without other, and then give that to everyone else and share that with everyone else. And so, but of course, collaboration is wonderful and beautiful and important. And of course, there's ways to do it. And of course, we all do it. But I'm just saying, like, there's just like a couple different ways that this can manifest, and a couple different, anyway. So with Mercury in and this is like Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, that Mercury is like at the end of Leo, and you may feel like there's some pressure to say something, and you might, and then like Tuesday with Mercury opposing Jupiter, that's like the last big energy before they change signs. So Tuesday will probably be the day that you have to say something in order to make something more balanced and more equal. And you may have a lot to say, and you may have to, like I said, correct something that you promised in the past, or even correcting a way you thought about the world or how you're seeing the world that you formed from other experiences, but now you have more experience, or now you think differently. So you're able to recalibrate yourself a little bit. It's going to be one or the other. So Wednesday, when Mercury enters into Virgo, it gains dignity right away because Mercury rules Virgo. So now there's going to be sort of like this heady shot of adrenaline to your head, to like, so it's more thinking, and it's really, it's a lot more. So there may be planning, there may be more to like the minutia. Like Virgo is about the minutia of the day, the tedium of the day, like writing out the grocery list, counting things, you know, like that kind of thing. So like when you're doing that, like it's great. It's just not as fun as Leo, but it's okay. It's still very good. We're going to be using this energy to keep on creating things that are true to ourselves and true to our lives this week. So with with the moon in Virgo, doing everything, conjuncting Venus and trining Pluto, opposing Neptune, this does make us feel a little bit more safe. It makes us, we're going to be feeling good on Wednesday. We're going to be feeling good and stable and safe. And like the changes that we're making and the transformation that's happening is very positive and empowering and encouraging of the sharing of ourselves with other people, with bonding. Like there can be a lot of like bonding type energy come Wednesday, or something that like kind of culminates Wednesday. So, but it builds up this whole, you know, now till then. On Thursday, the 12th, we have the moon now in Libra trining Saturn. And that's really all that's happening on Thursday. So when the moon enters Libra, kind of like the middle of the day, the moon's going to be void, of course, all morning on Wednesday, and only like the afternoon does the moon ingress into Libra. But making this trine to Saturn, this is very positive. This is very positive conversations or talking, especially if you are planning anything or negotiating anything like contract negotiations or anything like that. It's pretty responsible. It's very, I feel like if you are talking, you're going to reach conclusions that are good for everybody, because Libra wants everyone to be happy. So it's going to be very diplomatic. It'll be very like everyone's talking in good faith. Everyone's communicating in good faith. Everything that's happening is happening with trust and a sense of ownership. Remember, I've talked about pride of ownership, that we're not going to, you know, appreciate. Okay, you need to remember talking about that. So Friday, we have the sun in Leo sextiling this moon in Libra. And then that moon in Libra is going to square Pluto in Capricorn, but trine Jupiter retrograding in Aquarius, and then they will the moon will ingress into Scorpio later in the day. So with the sun and the moon, I feel like this is approvals. And actually there's this, like with Mercury Cazimi with the sun last Sunday the 1st, and then this past Sunday the 8th, there is this energy of power and kings and royalty and loyalty that's part of what we're beginning for ourselves. So there's this regal nature, and if you are going to try and put down your own regal nature and your own passions and creativity in order to please something in your mind that you think people want to see of you, or if you're trying to like fit in or anything like that, like if you're performative and you're doing something because you want to look like an individual, or if you're like trying to come off a certain, anything inauthentic, that's just not going to work. This week is all about authenticity and coming from all sides. In the beginning of the week, it's Leo, but at the end of the week, it's going to be Scorpio, which I'm going to talk about in a second. So this is kind of like black and white energy, and fixed signs can kind of be like that. Like they're the ones like kind of like ultimatum-y. But anyway, Friday, you've got to, with the square to Pluto, to you're going to be challenged to overcome some urge to control a situation or a person or a conversation. If you're feeling anything like that, like if you're talking with your mom-in-law, or if you're like freaking your kids, or just like whatever happens to be, just know that any of those power issues are just reflecting a power issue within yourself that you're trying to learn. but you're in this thing with this other person. So like on Tuesday, if you try to like adjust expectations that someone has of you, if you're giving too much of yourself away, or if you've been so selfish and you have to equalize that with somebody else and you have to kind of like meet in the middle here, come Friday, there could be something that comes up that maybe doesn't have to harken back to that same exact thing, but there can be something coming up where you feel like, oh my God, I just talked to this person about this boundary that I want, or I just asked someone to treat me a certain way, or I just tried to give more of myself to this thing. And something might come up that triggers you a little bit, and you might step back and think like, damn. Like, you know what I'm saying? So it's okay because it's a positive day Friday. There's, like I said, there's a lot of approval, positive energy. So hopefully this is just something a little bit more external and not really in relationships. Hopefully it's just something more like, you know, you're trying to get to your yoga class, but there's an accident and you're driving, and so you miss the whole class because there's like a big freaking sprawling 500 car pile up on the highway and you miss it, and you're like frustrated because it's not in your power to get to your yoga class on time. It's totally out of your control. You cannot control the weather or the traffic or anything, but you're feeling really frustrated because you just want to be in this class and you just want to be with your friend or whatever it happens to be. Hopefully it's more something like that and not like in your personal relationships. But I'm here to give you the heads up. So that's what we're doing. Okay. So Saturday is a big day because there's this moon in Scorpio. And again, remember when I said in July, I said at the beginning of July that every weekend in July was going to activate like the big change of the year. That's this again with Saturday and with this particular weekend, Saturday and Sunday. Because, and like I said, this new moon, you're creating something sort of in the dark, and the full moon is going to show you what you've been creating, what you've been molding and painting or whatever it happens to be. Saturday, the moon is in Scorpio, sextiling Mercury in Virgo, squaring Saturn, retrograding in Aquarius, sextiling Mars in Virgo, opposing Uranus in Taurus. So it's activating this T-square, it's activating the opposition. It's bringing a level of depth and intensity added to the ongoing changes. So things have already been changing, and you've been seeing it, and you've been engaging in this change since December 2020. You know, every month with a new and full moon, you know, with every ingress, with every stationing of a planet retrograde and direct, with everything happening, you've been making incremental progress more and more since then. And so this stage in that cycle is going to add a lot of, it sounds so, just to say intensity, let me put it this way. It's sort of dominating. You'll know exactly how you're feeling about all of this because it's very black and white. Like Scorpio energy, you're either all in or you're all out. You're either down or you're out. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's very much like that. So you will have very strong feelings, or it'll just look really clear. It'll look really clear, like what belongs, what's out of place, what you will tolerate, what you will not tolerate, and how you feel, like the depths of your feeling. You'll probably have like pretty great access to that this weekend, because Sunday is the quarter moon, the waxing, gaining in like quarter moon in Scorpio. So not only is like the moon doing all of this and activating all this, but it's a part of the lunation as well. So it's activating all of this dynamic energy, dynamic tension, and at the waxing, gaining in light, quarter moon, you've got to take some action. You've got to do something. So you would have had to do something anyway because of the T-square, but like you really, really, really have to do something. So just whatever is coming up this weekend where you're feeling so strongly, like I need to be here, or I need to be with these people, or I need to be with this person, or I need to be working on this, or I need to be creating that, or I need to, whatever that is, just like go with the flow, because you're channeling that energy. So there's an adjustment this weekend that you're going to have to make, and you're going to feel very strongly about it. Sunday is when Venus ingresses into Libra. So again, another station. So Saturday's the last day of Venus being in a sign, being in Virgo. There's going to be like this, you're going to get the culmination of what you've been working on since Venus has been in Virgo. So it'll probably be a gift Saturday. Saturday will probably feel really, really great because you'll be really connected to the changes and to what is growing and developing in your life in a way that makes you feel alive physically and spiritually. Like you'll feel like you can feel the depths of, okay, so someone in my family is trans, and she said that with like the hormone change, it was like going from, like feeling wise, it was like going from a box of crayons of 16, like 16, you know, those Crayola crayons, like the feelings, like 16 feelings, going from that box to a box of like 500 crayons, and like having like all these different variants of like, so it's kind of like that. That's a perfect example. So Saturday, you're going to feel like you have freaking 500 crayons in your feeling box, and that you're going to be feeling all these different shades, all these different levels. And that's what's going to feel intense. And I like that. I like the intensity, but I like bravery and courage. And if you can be spiritually, emotionally, mentally brave, the physical part is like the last. It's the last plane of manifestation. So when we have ideas and feelings, that's like the very beginning. It's the formative world, and then it's the creative world, and then it's the physical world. And now I'm getting into tarot again. But anyway, so Saturday and Sunday, it's going to be cool. It's going to be really cool, all in or out. You will need, with the quarter moon this weekend, you're going to have to take meaningful action that feels true to you. It has to, you know what I'm saying? So it's going to be, good. And just whatever you are feeling, to just be self-aware about it. Just check in with yourself. Like, whoa, I'm feeling so jealous right now. Why is that? Or, oh my God, I feel so bonded right now. This feels so amazing. Or whatever happens to be, because like I said, some people that are not like the Godfather, you know, they're just like, they're channeling all this energy without like that self-awareness, and they just may feel these things coming up, and they don't see themselves clearly. So if you're in the middle of that, or if you're dealing with that, try to have compassion for that, and then just put up boundaries. That's all you can do. I would not recommend trying to change anyone's mind this week at all. All this fixed sign energy, just politely nod and just be gracious, and then just move to another part of the room, or leave the room entirely. Like, just like, you know what I'm saying? Like, just put like space and distance, you know, because people are also going to be very vocally combative. I mean, just like it's been, you know, it's just like it's been, but people are going to really be even more impassioned that their thinking is the right thinking, and that their way is the right way, and that their passions are the right instincts, and that their feelings are truth, and that, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's going to be like that. So it's just not worth it. And when you get like used to all this stuff and used to energy work, people kind of look different. Like when they're going off, when you can kind of see when they switch into a subconscious behavior. You can kind of tell when people are triggered and they just start like word vomit, and they just start like blah, 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 or, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's very, or if you guys have studied like body language reading, you just know it's like the, because I used to teach body language reading. The subconscious always will tell the truth. Even when the person is consciously lying to you, everything else about their energy and about their body is telling you exactly the truth. So that's another advantage to studying the occult, astrology, tarot, and psychism, is that you just are living life on a level of awareness that most people do not understand or even perceive to be possible. If they can't even accept that it's possible to understand the layers of life like this, I mean, think about children's movies. There's jokes that they get and they laugh at, and then there's jokes that adults get, and you don't get those jokes when you're a kid watching those movies, but you watch the same exact movie when you're an adult, and you get so much more out of it. Freaky. It's the same thing when you're living life before, let's just say it, before psychic, tarot, and astrology, and then after psychic, tarot, and astrology, like before the occult and after the occult, and before metaphysics. Yeah. So, wow, I'm like really today. Okay. So, where was I? Oh yeah, meaningful action that feels true to you. This is actually really good for the weekend, like understanding your own psychology, understanding yourself, and understanding yourself through how you're feeling, because how you're feeling is your clue. If you're feeling happy, if you're feeling triggered, if you're feeling angry, those are all like the markers in the path. So, okay, I really have to stop digressing. Okay, so Sunday we have that moon in Scorpio, trining Neptune in Pisces retrograde, sextiling Pluto retrograding in Capricorn, squaring Jupiter retrograding in Aquarius. Yes, Hitler had astrologers. I don't know who's talking about this or who's thinking about it, but yes, Hitler had astrologers and occult, kind of like what I do. He had occult consiglieres, like kind of like what I am. And he suffered defeats because he went against their advice. When he did suffer a defeat or like a letdown, it was because he went against what his astrologer told him to do. So the moon sextiles Venus in Virgo. And again, this is like the moon in Scorpio, just adding like layer after layer and intensity, connecting with Neptune, which is fears and hopes and dreams and even mysterious energy, godlike energy. Sextiling Pluto retrograding in Capricorn, the modern day ruler of Scorpio. Speaking of Hitler, Pluto was discovered in like 1933 or 1932. That was a lot. Squaring Jupiter retrograding in Aquarius. Now again, challenging your preconceived notions about life, about people, about what it means to live in this physical body. And the challenge is going to come from your depth of feeling, coming up against something that you believed to be true already. How can this be true if I'm feeling this way? If I am homophobic, how am I having this attraction? That cognitive dissonance is going to break your mind. It doesn't have to. I'm not saying that it is or that it, but it's like, that's kind of just like an example of it. It's like something subconscious coming to the surface of your attention, like this subconscious attraction. But you're trying to be homophobic in your conscious waking life. And it's like, well, if that's your philosophy, you know what I'm saying? It's like, oh, and people's minds are going to be breaking up all kinds of ways. So I'm just saying, okay, so that's Sunday. And then, okay, and then the moon will, late night Sunday, the moon will then ingress into Sagittarius, kind of relieving us of some of that like intense feeling energy. And then Monday, the 16th, that moon in Sagittarius is going to square Mercury in Virgo, sextile Saturn retrograding in Aquarius, and square Mars in Virgo. So what I like about Sagittarius energy is the adventure, is the thrill, is the luck, is the optimism and growth and like internal expansion and external roaming the globe and globe trotting and all of that. And that Sagittarius energy will give you room to grow and give you room to mature and give you room to change. Like, I just really like that about certain signs that are more encouraging of an individual's path, you know, like no matter what it is. Whereas some signs can be a little bit more like, I fear change. I fear loss through change. I don't want you to change because I'm insecure about our relationship. I don't want you to grow. I don't want you to outgrow me. So I don't want you to grow at all. You know what I'm saying? It's like, you're ready for something I'm not ready for, and it scares me. And it's triggering my internal maturation level, you know, like all that stuff. So I love Sagittarius energy. I love that the moon's going into Sag after this intense, big adjustment. However, these squares to this Virgo energy, Mercury and Mars, you're going to have to overcome some foolhardy impatience in favor of doing something the right way. That's what I'm getting with this, is that like the sextile to I know my energy is really different right now. I know, I feel it. Someone's singing that. I know, I can tell. The moon in Sagittarius sextiling Saturn retrograding in Aquarius. Sometimes I hear that. Sometimes I hear people's thoughts, and it's like, it's weird. It started, that I've always had, but it was really bad when I was a teenager because I was hearing, I told you guys this already, Russian and Indian, and it wouldn't stop. And no matter how much I put, I'm like, I kept telling myself like, oh, it's a radio in another like outside or something, but like it's the same volume, and it would drive me crazy because I don't speak those languages. So anyway, so we have the moon, like I said, sextiling Saturn, but then squaring Mercury and Mars. So like, you're going to want to just go, go, go. You're going to want to be careful, some of you guys, because this can either be theatrical and wonderful, but it can also be dramatic, a dramatic week with a lot of drama and people just like projecting, and like they're going to be, if they're really operating from the shadow, they're going to be really trying to push what they think onto you, because they're insecure about their position. And so that's why the secure person will just like not even argue or not even engage in conflict. Like, let them think whatever they want to think. I don't want to waste my life, like seconds of my life, of my youth, listening to this. I don't want it. So it's like, you just like walk away. But be careful, because people could be really loose-lipped this week as well. And because they're thinking the wrong thing, they're the misconceptions. So especially with the moon in Sag, like Sag is kind of that, the fire signs are just like, with information, there's no information control. There's no, like, it's like broadcast and it's like very dramatic. So be careful. Don't tell anyone that suffers from that. Like, it's not, if people are compulsive, we all have struggled with compulsive behavior. So if people aren't aware of their own compulsive behavior, don't challenge them and try to trust them with either information dear to you or with property or with responsibilities. Like, don't set yourself up for failure. Don't set yourself up for disappointment. Don't set them up for failure, or for them to, because they're not going to be able to do it and they're going to feel bad and it's going to be a thing. You might have that perception because you're here with me having coffee. They just want to be part of the group, or like whatever it happens, or the family wants to include everybody, whatever it happens to be for you. You stay true to yourself and you protect your whatever's important to you, and you'll really feel what's important to you Saturday the 14th, Sunday the 15th, Friday it's going to be very obvious. Like, Leo rules the heart, and it rules like self-expression and like love. Like Leo rules romantic love. This is where people fall in love. This is where the heart opens and awakens and has something to say and wants to do what it wants to do, and it needs to be honored. Like, that's why Leo is so regal. And so think of a cat. A cat does whatever it wants to do, and it lives for itself. The dog lives to be your best friend, and the dog lives to make you happy and to just enjoy you and your radiance. The cat understands its own radiance and just doesn't want to bother you necessarily, unless you get a mean cat. You've seen that cat on TikTok that sits on the edge of the stair, and the people walk by on the sidewalk and he just like swipes at people and then he runs. Little coward. So be careful of that. Be careful of cowardly behavior, because some Leo energy is performative and it overcompensates. That's an insecure Leo. The insecure overcompensate, and it's like, I don't know if you guys have ever been in like a conversation, but it's like it's a lot, and it's that's kind of like compulsive too. So remember, we all have Leo somewhere in our chart. So if this is us, be self-reflective and see what's true. Are we really trying to authentically express ourselves because we love the doing and we love how it feels? Or are we doing something because we're trying to like impress somebody or try to prove something to someone or try to convince someone of something? If you know what I'm saying. So really take a look at all of that, because like I said, Monday the 16th, that someone might be tempted to like spill a secret, or like they just might be, it might be because they're really excited. It could be something like that as well, but that'll be different for everybody. Like I said, it's overcoming this like almost like foolhardy type of like impatience or wanting to travel. That's like, you know what I'm saying? Hey, we've all done that. I've bought in plane tickets and then didn't have lodging up in another country. So I have my Venus in Sagittarius, so I'm little bit too wanting of that adventure energy. Okay. Oh my God, 44 minutes. Okay, I get we're this is it. This is the end of the weekly body language micro. Oh, Aria, body language micro expressions. Absolutely. Absolutely. So I'm so happy you brought that up, Aria. Thank you. So micro expressions are like everything when you like analyze the face. And if you guys see people if you're with someone and you're talking to them more than 30 minutes, they won't be able to hide that. Like even actors, professional con people, or con artists, like they can't really hide that for a very long time. And so you'll see the honesty, like you'll see them telling the truth through their micro expressions, like no matter what is going on or what they're saying or how much they're trying to suppress it or hide it or mix the truth in a lie and try, like whatever it is, when you can see it, when you're really, a lot of intuitive people do this naturally. They read body language naturally. Like they absorb it and they get it on like a kind of like a unconscious, subconscious level. You are very sophisticated, Natalie. Love your wisdom. Aw, it's all in service to you guys. If I can help just like one person with like one video, it'll have been worth it. It's always worth it. It has to like continue. It has to be spread. And that's why I love when you guys start your own channels and start your own social media accounts and continue to spread it. It just makes me feel so good inside. It makes me feel like it's working. It makes me feel like, you know, like we care about living in love and truth and in integrity. If you stick to love, truth, and integrity, not just this week, but every week, of course, but especially this week, you'll be so fine. You don't have to worry about anything. There's no anxiety. There's no worries or fears. There's none of that. If you just trust that if you align with the vibration of real love, the vibration of real truth, the vibration of real integrity, okay, then you're going to fly really high. That's all I'm going to say. Okay. I love you guys. I'm going to get off now. We're going to do Capricorner. We have the weeklies. I've got okay. I'm okay. I have a Zoom session today. I was like, what time is it? We have a Zoom session today. There's a lot. So I love you guys. Bookmark the Patreon. If you guys need a Zoom session with me, the link is down there in the description box below. And it's, we just put you on the books. So I love you guys. Take care. Have a great week ahead. I will see you guys very, very soon. Until then, my loves, many beautiful blessings upon all of your beautiful heads, darlings. Mwah.